Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Tony. This is my channel, Black Mom Abroad, and on this channel I speak about my journey, about moving from the United States to Merida, Mexico with my twin daughters who are 4 years of age. Also leaving 2 teenage sons back in the United States with their dad. So I just talk about my experience in hopes that it will help somebody. So let's get into this, honey, because I'm a little something this morning. I don't know what to call it. I'm not going to put a name on it right now, but I want to know, my question, this is what I need to know. I need to know who lied to me. Who lied? Somebody lied to me. Somebody told me a big old country biscuit with some butter and some honey and some preserves and a big old nasty wet egg and some tomatoes. A big old country biscuit lie. Y'all lied. Somebody lied. But the fact of the matter is, people are not going to tell you the down and dirty, because the down and dirty is not always, how do I put this, marketable. The down and dirty is not always marketable, so you may not hear of it. You may not hear of it. But somebody lied to me. And here's the thing. It don't even matter. You know why? Because I am responsible for doing my own due diligence and my own research. And while I did, let me just tell you, let me save you, let me do a spoiler alert, whatever you want to call it. I don't care how much research you do. I don't care how much planning you do. Everything you're not going to be able to plan. Even if you are looking at videos, you are looking up stuff, you are researching these. You're researching from the eyes of someone else. So what may bother you may not bother them. What may be expensive to you may not be expensive to them. What's walkable to them may not be walkable to you. So honestly, I don't care what anybody tells you. I don't care what nobody say. This is trial and error. This is trial and error. So let's talk about the first lie. Let me talk about the first lie. The first lie, and I want to set this straight for every single black mom out there. I want to set this straight. But first, let me get a disclaimer, honey, because people be in the comments just commenting. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay? So let me go ahead and give a disclaimer. In no way am I saying that this is a deal breaker. In no way am I saying that this does not get better. In no way that I'm saying that I'm like, gotta go. I'm not saying that. I am not saying that. But what I am saying is that these are the things that need to be discussed so that you do not come in just with one side of the story. All right. So for instance, the first thing that I have to talk about is transportation. Why are y'all telling people that Ubers is $2? Didi is $2. If you going 2 minutes away, if you going 2 minutes away, there's no Uber that's $2. There's no Uber that's $1.50. Why people? Oh baby, oh that's another fee associated. That's the tip. You paying a tip. You ain't paying the actual price. Because if you look on your statement, your credit card statement, whatever you use, hopefully you ain't using your bank account, but that's a whole story for another day. But if you go back and you look, you got fee after fee after fee, and by the time you add it up, no, it's not $2. I ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole. It's not $2. Stop telling people that Ubers are $2. They're not. If you're going around a corner, like 3 minutes around the corner, And here's the thing with the transportation. It's very volatile. And what I mean by that is when they don't want to work, they ain't going to work. They don't care where you got to go. Who cares? At what time now? And you got to be there at what time? And you in a rush? Well, you should have ordered me about an hour ago, baby, because I'm going to get there when I get there. Okay? There's no rush. Your urgency is not somebody else's emergency. It just does not happen that way. I am sorry to tell you that it does not happen that way. Okay? Ubers are not $2. Transportation is very, very on par with close. I'm not going to say on par, but very close to the United States. I will say that the average Uber Didi price is about $4 to $6 when I'm staying in like the midst of Shalou, or I'm going just out to Shalou, or maybe to Alta Brisa. But honey, if I'm going anywhere in Central, that's like $8, $9, $10. And everybody may be like, oh, well, that's, that's no money. And again, it's relative. But I'm just here to be honest and transparent and tell you that's such a shadow. Let me see if I can move it better. I don't know. That don't work. But anyway, I'm just trying to be honest and transparent and let you know that there aren't any $2 Ubers. And by the time you go and come back, you done spent about $14, $15 on a trip. And that may be fine for some people. But if you do not have a car and you have children, smaller children, and you need to go do this or you need to go do that, you ain't walking everywhere. I don't care how much you would like to walk. You're not walking everywhere. So if you got 3 or 4 places to go, you're going to spend a lot of money in that one day with just transportation. So I just want to make that clear that Uber Didi is not cheap at all. Another thing about the transportation here is that it's very... it really benefits. I'm not saying that it doesn't benefit us, but like with Didi, they can request that you up your price. And I got a Didi the other day, and I put in a price. They denied it and asked me to go up about 20 pesos. And I denied it, and then like it's a constant going back and forth. They are able to negotiate their prices, and let me tell you something. They're getting it. They're like they see your picture, they see your profile, they see your name, they know that you're not from here, and that you're going to get a higher price just because you are not a native. Period. You're going to get a higher price. And so I just really want to put that out there, that transportation is an expense. I'm talking about $200 to $300 a month. It is an expense. And then another thing about transportation is just like in the States, when it's a busy time, like I've noticed, like when it's time to get kids out of school, you can hang it up. Ain't nobody come to get you. They need to go get their kids. At certain times of day that the fare is increased and that nobody is actually picking up. Yes, pumpkin pie.
I'm done.
Okay, put your bowl in a sink. Good job.
Yay, Mom.
I told you I was a short order cook, honey.
Mama, why are you open the door for you?
Baby, I'm good. I'm doing a video. Go wash your hands. Go wash your hands.
Aww.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Love you.
Love you.
Oh, you said that kind of like, anyway, yeah, like certain times of day, you're not going to get picked up or you're going to wait. And then they get to drive up the cost for whatever they see fit. So I just want to make sure that you guys know that there aren't any $2 Ubers. And if somebody is telling you that, they are lying to you, or they're taking it out of context. Okay, if somebody tells you I got a $2 Uber, they should also tell you that they went 3 minutes down the street, but they're not going to tell you that. Yes, pumpkin pie. Y'all don't judge my baby's hair. It's hair day. You love me? You got to go wipe your face. You still got that all over your face. You still got ice cream all over your face.
I love it.
You love it?
Yeah.
Go wipe your face. Was it good?
Yeah.
Was your croissant good?
Yes, Mama.
And your strawberries and blueberries? I'm glad you liked it. Okay, come on now. Everybody don't want you see you do all that. Can I do this video, please?
I'm trying.
What you trying to do?
I was trying to say I love you, Mama.
Oh, I love you too, baby. All right, go ahead. Yeah, so if somebody is telling you that an Uber costs $2, they've taken it completely out of context. Goodbye, baby. I love you. They're taking it completely out of context and not telling you that they're going 3, 4, or 5 minutes down the street. And that's what costs $2. I think $2 was maybe $2, $3 was more prevalent when the exchange rate was at 20. But at 1716, no baby, no baby, no. And so I just think it's something that you should know. Transportation is expensive. So, ooh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. So when you are figuring out your budget.
I wash my face, Mama.
Okay, baby, can I do the video though?
But still left.
All right, bud. Can I see you still got stuff on your face? You doing all that licking.
But I still wash my face on this.
Okay, can I do the video though?
Okay.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. You giving me this time and opportunity.
Goodbye, Mom.
And now you mad. Now you got an attitude. Can you shut the door all the way though, Pumpkin?
I always shut the door.
All the way though. Thank you. I appreciate it. So the reason why I'm talking about this is because when you have your budget, when you are budgeting out your transportation, please be aware that unless you are going right around the corner where literally you could walk. So let me just tell you, for Uber to be $1 to $2, you know what that would be? That's about 34 pesos. Where? I've never seen an Uber, especially Uber, because Uber is much more expensive than Didi. I've never seen an Uber for 34 pesos. Never. The lowest I've seen it is for 50, maybe 45. But like I said, it depends on where you go. And even if you go 2 minutes up the street, you still wasting it. Not wasting. You're still using their time. They have to come where you are to pick you up. And don't nobody want to take you around the corner for no $34, 34 pesos. Nobody is trying to take you 2 minutes down the street for 40 pesos. Nobody is doing it. It's not worth their time. It's not worth their efforts. So you might as well walk. That's why it frustrates me a little bit to hear people say that Ubers is 50 cents to $2. No, it's not. Girl, child, no, it's not. No, it's not. You going down the street. And you had to wait 15 minutes because who is coming to get you to take you up the street for 34 pesos? So please do your research. And if it sounds too good to be true, it probably more than likely is. Okay, so I'm a leave the transportation alone for a little bit, but it is irritating. Like, I'm tired of waiting for transportation. I'm tired of, oh, let me tell y'all this. Let me tell you, ooh, child, I don't know how I forgot this. So one way to try to bring down the cost of your Uber and your Didi is to pay cash, right? Efectivo. However, you get in that car, I got to get up close. Hold on, because see, I need y'all to understand me. I need you to feel me on this. If you get in that car and you don't have exact change, baby, guess what? You're going to be paying extra for your Uber. And whatever that extra is whatever the smallest bill you got. But do not make the mistake that I have made many of times, thinking that you can get change. Getting change is a privilege, one that they do not have to give you. If they give you change, they're being nice, but do not bet on it, because what they do, because this is a service industry, country, right? What they do is they bank on you not having change. And I fell in the trap and hurt my leg about 15 times already. So please don't be like me. Please carry change, okay? Keep your change so that you can give them exact change when your Uber and your DD is completed. But that is a way to save money, is to use cash. Because anytime you use like your bank card or your credit card, sometimes there are hidden fees that you may not realize, and you think your Uber was $5 and you turn around, it was $6.50. Now, people was like, that's only $1.50. Okay, times 10, right, for the week. So it adds up. What's your purpose? What's your reason? What's your why of being here? Mine is to save an abundant amount of money, as much as I can save. Now, I ain't saying I'm trying to live, you know, like scrapping. No. But wherever I can see to cut costs is wherever I can see to cut costs. So please keep in mind that if you want to use cash, which is a really good thing to do, is to always keep change, because they ain't got to give you nothing. Listen, I got in an Uber, no, a DD, and I didn't have change, and I asked him. All I had was a $500 peso. I forgot how much the Uber was. So, no, I'm lying. I think the Uber was like 120 or something like that. 120 pesos. Now, do the math, okay? 120 pesos. I had like 90 pesos. And then I had like 110 pesos. I needed 10 more. And then I had a 500. He did not care. He did not care. And I'm sitting in the car like, oh, we about to pay Texas Hold'em, honey. Let's see who gives up. And he looking at me like, you getting the hell out of my car? And I'm like, can you take me to the store or something? Because I'm not giving you my $500 peso. Long story short, they don't have to give you change. And after about 3 minutes of me trying to figure out where he could take me, guess what he did? Gave me change. What Uber or DD driver ain't got no change on them when they constantly get money? Because I won't say only, but I would be willing to bet my left pinky toe. And y'all know how important the left pinky toe is, okay? I would be willing to bet my left pinky toe that mostly expatriates are the one that is using like credit. But locals use cash. Cash is king here. Okay? So what Uber or DD driver don't have no cash, right? But the problem is, or what it is they ain't got to give you their change. So don't set yourself up for failure. Do not be like me and think that they are so graciously going. They nice. They nice. They are nice. Except when it comes to their money. They want their money, okay? So transportation was a money grab that I had no idea, and so literally people was on social media, Instagram, YouTube saying that they got an Uber for $2, $3. Girl, you was going up the street. Stop. So just be aware of those type of misconceptions, because when you get here, it can trap you. It can absolutely trap you. I also want to kind of make this disclaimer, and I think I said this before in another video, but I also want to try to make this disclaimer that your first 6 months is going to be, I will say your first, I'm going to say 6 months. Your first 6 months is going to be the most expensive time. If you can make it through 6 months, then I think that your cost of living will start to decrease, because you're not going to the big box stores. You're not trying to do things off convenience because you know where things are now. You're able to get your way. You're able to speak the language more. But just keep in mind that your first 6 months is going to be the most expensive period when you're moving abroad. All right, let's talk about the other one that somebody lied. Okay. All right. Yeah. Walkability. What does that actually mean? What does it mean? What does walkability mean? Does it mean that you're surrounded by things that you can walk to? Does it mean that the area is safe for you to walk? Does it mean that the infrastructure is safe that you are able to walk? Like, what does that actually mean? So I have shared before, I live in Shalul. I love Shalul. I do. It's the neighborhood, honey. Okay? It's the neighborhood. I don't have no problems with that, but it is what it is. It's the neighborhood, all right? And you don't really get no straight streets, pavements, curbs, nothing. And so it may be walkable to a single person, but when you have little kids, 2 4-year-olds, and you trying to hold both of their hand, and the daggone sidewalk is 5 inches in width, it's not walkable. It's not. I don't care for how far you gotta go. Girl, a 3-minute walk takes us 15 minutes, honey, because I'm trying to prevent one of my children from getting sideswiped by one of them cars. Because one of the other things that I need to tell you guys is that pedestrians, that ain't no word. That ain't no word here. Pedestrians, what's that? What is that? That pedestrian stand for, I dare you to pedestrian my way. I dare you, I double dare you to pedestrian in my way, and you gonna feel this car. You gonna feel this car. I have been scared many a times, and I'm from Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore, okay? I am from Baltimore. We have perfected jaywalking. Like, we get the rhythm. It's almost like double dutch. You know, we in, we out, we in, we out. I have perfected jaywalking or walking in the street, whatever you want to call it, with 2 kids, a whole bag, and a stroller, whatever you want to call it. I have perfected it. So I'm not no stranger to crossing the street. I'm not a stranger to walking. I'm not a stranger to the city. I'm not a stranger to any of that. It's not walkable. I mean, you can walk, but you got to say a prayer before you go out there. I mean, it is. And it's not dangerous because somebody might be after you. And it's not dangerous because whatever the case may be. It's dangerous because stop signs are a suggestion. Like, that's real life. That's a real life. Stop signs are a suggestion. You can hardly see. There's no crosswalk. I don't live in Central. Central, it's for expats. Like, the setup, it's a very touristy area, and they cater to tourism because that's how they make their money. In the neighborhood, honey, you gotta get in there how you can fit. And it is not walkable. And so for me, my preference is to be able to walk around without feeling like one of my children are going to get hit or I'm going to get hit. And that just has not been the case. Every single time we leave this house to walk, it's stressful to me. And so I did not take that into consideration because now I use more Ubers. I love to walk. I'm a very active person. I gotta be because I have 2 4-year-olds. So I enjoy walking. I enjoy movement. You either move it or you lose it. Things that are in motion stay in motion. Things that are stay still, or are still stay still. Whatever, you know what I'm saying. So I enjoy moving.
I love you.
I love you too, Pumpkin. However, I did not know that because of the lack of walkability, that was going to push me to use Uber and Didi. and drive my expenses up, way up. So that is just something you really got to think about before you decide that this is the place that you want to be.
Mama, watch my trip.
Let me see, baby. Oh, go ahead, girl. I see you. Another thing I'll talk about is where somebody lied. A lot of y'all lying.
How about?
Mexico is not cheap. Mexico is not cheap. Mexico is not cheap. So if your primary reason to come down here is because you feel like you're going to have this, and this, you might have it. Maybe for a month. I don't know. I don't know what your finances are. I don't know. I can only speak for myself. And it's not cheap. It's not cheap. For instance, one of the things that really surprised me is that the food costs are the same in the United States. Honestly, I'm an alternative shopper, so I used to shop at like Trader Joe's, Aldi's, Lidl or Little, anywhere where I can still pick out some good products, but at a discounted rate. At a discounted rate. There ain't no stores like that here. Everything is expensive. Like everything that you purchase, like food is very expensive. My grocery bill is one of the largest bills that I have outside of my rent. And it really is ridiculous. And I'm not buying anything that is spectacular. You know, we eat a lot of fruits, veggies, pretty much stay with like chicken and fish. I do have maybe like some easy pre-cooked meals like chicken tenders and stuff like that for the girls. But we eat real basic stuff. I don't go out to eat a lot because it's too expensive. It's too expensive. And it's just something that I just did not have any clue of. Like, I did not know that the food was going to be so much here. One thing that I will tell you is expect to spend a lot more money in the beginning for like the first 3-4 months. And then I think it will start to decline. It hasn't started to decline for me yet, but I am working on ways to decrease my budget. Like, I think that, so initially when you first get here, you're going to gravitate to the thing that you feel comfortable with. And people always say, well, you could just go to the butcher shop, or you can go to the Maxi Carne. Can I? Right away? With 2 kids? Can I? Like, I can, but let's be real. Like, if your kids is like, mommy, I'm hungry, and you like, okay, I just need to get something. Like, I just need to get what I know that they will eat and what I know that I can cook. You going to Walmart. You going to a grocery store. You going to somewhere you can get the food quickly. You can prepare it quickly. And the Walmart ain't cheap. Stay out of it. As a matter of fact, I was in Walmart the other day and I had a taste for, what was it? Some ice cream. Girl, Ben & Jerry's, I think it's Ben & Jerry's. Chunky Monkey ice cream, 180 pesos. 180 pesos. Y'all, that's like $10, $11 for a tiny pint of ice cream. Tiny pint of ice cream. I was watching Cortez Ross, one of his videos, and he was like, stay out of them Walmarts. Stay out. Like, because any name brand you get, it don't matter what it is. I don't care if it's toilet paper. I don't care if it's disinfectant. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a McCormick spice. I don't care if it's a log cabin syrup. you are paying an upcharge for those prices, and you just think, oh, let me do my shopping. You go to the to the checkout, and you are stunned. You're like, what in the world happened? And it's real easy to say, well, you need to check your prices while you in there. Who in the world is being in the store for 3 hours because you're checking prices, you're reading labels, but that you can't read, and you got 2 toddlers who is doing what they do? That's unrealistic. Don't put that amount of pressure on yourself when you first get here. Don't do that. Just plan for your bill to be more until you get comfortable enough to start venturing out to other places. It's okay. I'm not saying that, oh, I'm done here, it's so expensive, I gotta go. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I wish I would have known so that I could make, you know, better plans. Luckily, I'm not in any type of financial struggle. But honey, if I came on here in a real tight budget, I would have blasted that budget the moment I stepped my foot in here, because it's a lot of hidden costs, a lot of things that people are not telling you, that people are not being honest with you. Food is very expensive. To go out and to eat is very expensive. And I don't even like their food here. I'm not a fan of their food here at all. So I am left cooking, which I don't mind cooking, but I don't want to do it all the time. But I don't have any other choice, because every single time I order out to eat, I don't like it. I do not like it. For whatever reason, Mexico like leaves this, like, I still have not gotten over like this gastric reflux coming up, tasting chemically. I don't know what it is, but I don't like the food here. So I typically go to the grocery store, and that's how we eat. Another tip that I will give you is do not try to purchase food or buy groceries for more than 3-4 days. And that's another thing. That's another thing that causes your transportation to go up, because you can really only buy food for 2 or 3 days, because they don't have preservatives. They don't have things like that. So your squash can't sit in the refrigerator for 15 days and it come out and it's green and crunchy and nice. My squash was sitting in my refrigerator for 2.5 days, and the whole thing was almost, I said, ain't that butter? So you waste a lot of food if you're not careful. Also, a good tip is to plan out your meals. I'm not there yet. I try. Like yesterday I went to the store, and plan out your meals before getting to the store, because I don't like going grocery shopping. That's probably one of my least favorite things to do. I do not like it. It causes me anxiety. I hate it. I hate going to the grocery store. But what's even worse is going to the grocery store and not knowing what the heck you're getting ready to cook. So I decided to do some chicken fettuccine Alfredo with some broccoli. And so I pretty much just got the ingredients that I needed for that. I already had the chicken, so I already had the cream. I just needed noodles. So just really try to write down and plan out your meals for about 2 or 3 days. Go to the grocery store and get that. Or like go and get bulk meat, cut it up, put it in your freezer. That way you'll have the meat. That's something that I have to start doing, because I pretty much buy my meat like every other week. But I don't even want to do it that often. I would like to get a big haul of meat, freeze it, and just take from there. So those are just some tricks and tips about trying to decrease your food costs. But Merida is not cheap. I would say the main thing that you are saving when you live here is is rent costs. And even that is becoming so high that, you know, some places are right on par with the United States, no doubt, depending on where you live, what your proximity to Central, whether you live in a provider or an apartment or a high rise. You don't pay the money. You don't pay that money, because here's the thing: gentrification. Like when people, and it's not just black people, it's Canadians, it's Mexicans, it's a lot of people who come here because it's cheaper than where they are, and so they're willing to spend more money, and that just drives up the cost along with inflation and other things that's going on today. It just drives up the cost. So right now the rental prices is still, you know, compared to the States, it's still very, very, very inexpensive, and I will be honest about that. But don't let that fool you. Do not let that fool you. Alrighty. I already talked about the food and the groceries, and the cost of living. Yeah, so I would just say, do your due diligence. Figure out what your budget is. Reach out to people that you may know that's over here. You know, put a comment down in my comments and ask me questions. I don't mind answering. I am 100% transparent. But please do not come here thinking that you're gonna make it off $1,000. I'm not saying that to be like rude or bust anybody's bubble. And let me just tell you, I'm not telling you how to live, because the situation that you are coming from, this could potentially be a better option for you. So I would never, ever judge anybody in that way. I won't even tell you don't come, because I think you should do what your soul and your heart tells you to do. I just think that you should absolutely know the truth about the matter. And the truth about the matter is you gonna pay a lot of money, especially within the first 3 to 6 months. So if you don't have the money to sustain you, just in case something else comes up, let me tell you something else that blew at least $12,000 of my savings. That ain't had nothing to do with actual Mexico. So I own a home back in Baltimore, Maryland, and I was going to sell my home, but that fell through. I do believe that it fell through, but it was a blessing in disguise. So now I have a tenant who is paying my mortgage, and I get maybe like a $200 profit. Not a lot, just something that but I ain't got to do nothing for it. It's income. However, within the first month of him living there, I had major plumbing issues that I knew nothing about. What happened was my neighbor had plumbing issues, and I have a semi-detached or a row house. So I'm attached to someone on my right, but nobody on my left. So semi-detached. She got some work done, and my plumber told me that because our pipes are so close together, that she should have, number one, asked me, got my permission, and changed my pipes as well. Had she said something, had she asked me, I would have just gave her the money towards it. Like, we could have all did it together. Long story short, she damaged my pipes, didn't have any idea. I hadn't been living in my house for like 4 or 5 months prior to me even leaving, because when you're trying to, because first I was trying to sell it, and then I realized, oh, I'm not going to be able to sell it. Let me get a tenant. But you're not living there. You can't live there because your tiles will mess up every day. There'd be stuff on the wall. And that's too much stress of trying to live and sell. So I had major plumbing issues within the first month of my tenant being there. $12,000 gone. Boop, out the door. So that is another concern. Like, you have to have something in the bank, something saved, so that if these things come up, you'll be able to pivot one way or the other. And so although it was frustrating, I'm just happy that I was able to manage it and to keep my home, because I do believe that once all of this is all over, that it will make money for me while paying off my home. So I think that in the long run, it is amazing investment. I'm never going to get rid of my home. I am 41. I will be 42 in September. And maybe by the time I'm 50, the house will be paid off, or something. By the time I'm 45, the house will be paid off. And if I'm charging, I don't know, $1,800 a month for rent, I get all that $1,800. So it's still a good investment, but it is definitely something to think about prior, because people will tell you, oh, you need to rent, oh, you need to sell. Oh, do what's best for you, okay? Because you rent, you're responsible for what goes on. That's still your house. So you're responsible for like major repairs. And if you don't have that, not only will your tenant leave, but they'll leave with the security deposit, and you may not get another tenant, or you may have issues getting another tenant. And while that time you don't have another tenant, you got to pay your own mortgage. So those are just some things to think about. Do me a favor, please go ahead and like, share, comment, and subscribe, or thank you, to my channel, and send it to someone who is thinking about moving abroad, someone who this information may be beneficial. All right, y'all, I gotta go. Until next time, peace.